Assalamu alaikum and hello. I'm Azmat Shah from Drupak and we are into day 15 of DDCDP in Drupal. Today is a massive day as I just left the Drupal group module. It's a very powerful Drupal module in which you can do a lot of stuff, and probably this is going to be one of the most detailed demos of the group module so far you might have seen, hopefully. We will study how group module saves data, how the group permissions work, both the insider and outsider types of or the scopes of permissions. Then we will create views of group content. Views of group content can be complex, so we will dive deep into creating views for group content. We also study, and one of the use cases of group module in Drupal is using it for multi-sites or microsites. So we'll use how we will see how group module works in as multi-sites or microsites, and then we also will go into details of how the group context path prefix module works, which helps in creating microsites in the group module in Drupal. So there are a lot of things to cover. Let's dive in. So we are going to start our lecture now, and the topic actually is one of the most powerful Drupal modules, and it's called group. As the name suggests, and we should be very thankful to the author. He has really done a lot maintaining the module, contributing to it. So what is this group module used for? So some of the use cases they have mentioned on the page. Classes on a school website. Okay, so for example, if you are going to make or build a university or a website or school website, so each class will be a group. Multiple tier subscription, content access, and sub editors on a magazine site, sub communities within a membership organization, conference management. And in fact, the project inside building phase of this DDCDP will be building a Drupal camps website based on, and which is actually conference management, and it will also be based on the group module. But before that, it's very important to know how group module functions, both from the functionality point of view as well as how it stores data. You should know about that as well, because there might be times when you have to write complex queries or complex views, and then if you are not aware of how Drupal group module saves data, then it will be hard for you to create views. So these are some of the use cases of why we need group module. But also content access actually is one of the key factors we use group modules for. So for example, if we are in a class of students, so class 6 will have students as well as some assignments and content. So that content should only be visible to class 6 students. But if class 7 students have access to the same content, it means there is no access restriction. That content should not be accessible to any other class. So all of these scenarios we will be studying today. I have a clean install of Drupal. And we are on the home page. So we'll start with 0 so that you know what we are doing. So if I add a content, just some content article, test content 1, and save. So this is the test content, and if I open another window, so this content is visible to users outside who are not logged in. In other words, for anonymous users also this content is visible. So if you go to people permissions, and here we can, at most what we can do is, this is for anonymous users, okay. This is by default, so view publish content anonymous user. If I uncheck it and go back to that page now for anonymous users, if I refresh it, so access denied. So that's the most we can do in Drupal core. If you want the anonymous users, if you want to restrict anonymous users to see content, so what you can do is you can just uncheck that. But if you want to have different scenarios where you want to have permissions for certain users or certain roles to do something, and on other scenarios not to do that particular stuff, so in that case we should have group module installed. It makes your Drupal site very powerful. And we will just go to installation. And we will enable the group module. Okay, what is internally a group? So just like if I refresh the page now, group module has been enabled, and you can see a link here which is called groups. So just like content types, user types, users, or any other entities, taxonomies, so groups also is an entity type which is of type groups. So it also can have bundles, just like we have content types, so we can have group types. So if you go to groups and group types, so it is just an entity type like we have been studying and knowing. So by default, if we go to if I click on add group type, so for example, if I make it a class, okay, the group type means this is going to be a type of group, so the class is the bundle of it. Then it has group settings. One of them is creator settings. The group creator automatically becomes a member. What does this do? If I'm admin and I'm creating a group, so I will automatically become a member. Group creator must complete their membership, so I will uncheck this one for now, but we will study this checkbox if I remember, but this is not important. So this one is, so if I create a group, I should be a member of it automatically. And then the access settings, so for now I will check these. Automatically configure useful default roles. So group module comes with some default roles. I will check this one. Also automatically configure an administrator role, so this is also I'm going to check. And for now I will not assign this role, maybe I can. So I will assign this role to the user who creates this group, whatever group. Okay, we have detected that your site has an all access global role called administrator. So this is normal Drupal administrator role. So automatically allow accounts with this role to manage all groups of this type they are not member of. I will for now uncheck these and save group type. So we have created a group type of, and the name is what? Class. Just like we create content types, so we have created a group type which is class. Okay. Now let me create a content type. I'll call it assignment, and it will have just the title for now, and save and manage fields. And maybe we want to have some media field. Is media enabled?
No.
So, or for simplicity sake, we in the content type we will just add a new field assignment, which is last date. So manage fields, create new field. Where is the date? And we call it last date. Okay, so if I create new content, add content assignment, and I will call it essay on cricket, for example. I will save it. So this node is now globally available, essay on cricket. And if I go to, in fact, if we remove that permission for now, anonymous user should see the content. So this essay on cricket is now globally available because this is normal Drupal node. But now we want to restrict this assignment based on classes. Okay. So we already have created a group type, which is what? Class. Now if I add a class, so what it will be? Just like adding a node, it will be adding a group. So add group, and this will be, for example, class 6. That's it. Create class and become a member. So this class has now been added. And if I click on all entities, if you are on a group page, just like we have node page, there is a group page. So how do you know what is a group page? Anybody? How do we know we are on a group page? If the path is URL is group / something.
Just like node /
yes. If the path is group / something, it means you are on a group page. Clear? So we are on the group page right now. So if you are on the group page, you will see all entities if you are logged in as the administrator. Okay, so this is all entities. So right now there is the entity is admin who has been added to the group, and the entity type is user, and the plugin used is group membership, and that's it. But there is no way of adding any node to the group. So by default, when a group is created, the group author becomes the member. So this is that checking which we had done. Okay, now we want to add this assignment, this content assignment, essay on cricket, to this group. So how can we do it? Anybody, what is missing? Those who know about the group module already? Yes, please, Abdullah.
Need to enable the article plugin or
very good, very good. So if you go to extend and we just search for group, so there is this additional module called group node, which we need to enable. What this will do is, if we install it, this comes, by the way, with the group module. So now if you go to the group settings, this is group types, and in the class manage fields, if we check, there is set available content option. So at any given group type will have this set available content option. Okay, so set available content, if I click, so you can see the group membership is by default, so this is related to the users. But now each content type has its own setting for, so which one I want to be part of the group class. So this is assignment, so I will just install it. Okay, and there are some options. One of them is by installing the group node assignment plugin, you will allow content entities to be added to the groups of type class. So group cardinality, this is a setting, the amount of class groups a single content entity can be added to as a group node. So one class can be added, one assignment can be added to multiple classes. This is what it means. So we'll leave it as it is, set to 0 for unlimited. But if you want to have each assignment linked to just one group, so then you will have to change it to 1.
Yes.
Okay, there is an option, but for now we will leave it and install plugin. So what do you expect now? We have enabled the node plugin for the group type. So if I am on a group page again, this is class 6. So what do you see, anything extra now? Nodes.
Yes.
So now we have nodes, just like we had all entities previously, we also have nodes also. So if I click on nodes, there are two options for us. One of them is add existing content and add new content. What do you mean by this? This is self-explanatory. So if I click on add existing content, and here the existing content I can check. So what was it? Essay? Okay,
Yes,
essay on cricket.
Yes.
And save. So what has this done? It has added this content, this node, to the group class 6.
Yes.
Okay, one thing we can check now, I am now logged out in another browser, and if I refresh the page, access is denied. Just by adding a node to the group itself has caused this access denied. So what does this mean? We need to do extra now, so that this who is an anonymous user, they can see the group content.
Yes.
So now what they will have to do to see the content, they will have to log in, and if they are logged in and they are members of the group, only then they will be able to see content. So let us do that. In the admin administrator, people, add user, I will create a new user, javad@example.com, javad. Okay, so we can assign him a role, but for now let it be just authenticated user. And what is authenticated user in Drupal? Any user with an account
Yes, sir.
is known as authenticated user. And save, create new account. So now the user has been created. How to make this user part of that group?
Go to the group.
But before doing this, I will again go to the anonymous user, and I will try to log in with Javad now. So Javad is now logged in, and the path to assignment is node/2, which is still access denied. So
Yes,
what
sir.
I need to do so that Javad can see this content? Any guesses?
Permissions.
Hmm? Yes.
Member of that.
Technically,
group,
he
sir.
should be member of that
That
group
group,
also,
yes, sir.
so that we can see, he can see the content. And any guesses how can I do it? I will again come to the groups, and class 6 is a group, and if you come to members, just like we have nodes in the members, right now there is just admin, because admin created this, so by default he becomes the member. And here if I click on add member, and the user is Javad, so now Javad has become the member of
The
it,
part of this group.
and let us see if anything changes for him. Because we need to now give some permissions to this user. Okay, so if you go to any group, type and then permissions, edit permissions. So now these permissions are pertaining to the particular group type, okay, not the global ones. It has one option of viewing the group, so we will check this view published content. Okay, anybody who can let me know what is an outsider role and what is a member role in groups?
Member can edit or add some content to the group, or outsider can only view it.
Anyone who is the member of the group is the member.
Outsider means this is
Any
just
Drupal user who is
he
not
can
member
post
of the
inside.
group is an outsider.
Any Drupal user, yes. If there is a role in Drupal in group which has a corresponding Drupal role, in that case it is outsider and who is not the member. So right now he is the member, right?
Yes, sir.
So we view published group means groups. Even if you go to right now before this checkbox, if I go to group/1, which group is this? Class 6.
Class 6.
Still it is access denied because he cannot view the group. So if we check this checkbox, view group for the member, right? So view published group, this one, and I just save it. So what will happen now? We are on the group page,
Able
class,
to see.
so you can see the class now,
Yes.
okay, because this is the group page. So the permission was for group. Now it is for the content, which is what we need, and it is node/2, and it still is access denied. So in the same permission stuff, if you come down, and this is group node, and this one is view any content item entities. So what does this mean? Any node added to the group. Okay, so now assignment has been added to the group. So this is the one we need, member of authenticated user, whatever, and save. So now if we refresh the page, so he can now see the content. Okay, so what we did, we made both the content, we added content to the group. This essay on cricket, we added it to the class 6, and then we also added Jawad, who is the user, to class 6, and now both of them, both the content are inside the group, and that user once logged in, Jawad has logged in, he can see the content.
Yes.
And this will happen now for all the users. We will pause here, and I will now show how group basically saves content. This is very important. I think we need to install php-myadmin, ddf get
dd //
/ddf php-myadmin.
Yes. Then dd restart.
Start or restart?
Restart. Start here also.
Okay, we will focus on all the tables which are which start with groups. Okay, and these are all the group module related tables. but I will start with the diagram like we have been always doing, which makes it really easy for us. We will call this table a group. So GID and title or something like this. So any group which we create gets saved to the groups table. So this is, for example, one number is in our database, what it will be, the class 6. Okay, so GID1 is class 6. This is what group is. Now we have users, which is Drupal default users, right? So you all already know what the database structure for users is, and then we have nodes, and in nodes we will focus on assignment. So these are the two things you already know, what the nodes are and what the users are. But how I will know that this user or this node is part of a particular group? So let me just create the user table quickly also. Insert table, where is table? Look at this one.
Insert.
So UID and username, one is admin and 2 is Jawad. And similarly we have nodes. So this is NID title. So 2 number is assignment, essay, assignment, or whatever it is.
Essay on the cricket.
Essay on cricket. Okay. Now my question to you is, how would I know that this node or this user is part of a particular group? And for that we need a junction table or something like this, and groups module call it group relation, group relationship or group relation. Let me just confirm. It's called group underscore relationship. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So this is group relationship table. I will create it now. Maybe we need a lot of columns in it. Okay, so the relationship by itself is an entity and it will have its own primary key. So for example, one is something, or let me just first ID and
Name, group name.
entity type or something like this, then entity ID and so on. So this is one.
Group ID.
Yes, group ID. Thank you. So these are the important fields in this table. So what does this ID mean? This is the primary key of this relationship entity itself. Then the entity type. So for example, I want to make, and I also know that if a group is created by the admin, he becomes the member automatically. So what will I add here? Anybody? So that I know that admin is the member of this group. So entity type is user. Okay.
Yes.
Entity ID is user ID, admin is 1.
Yes.
So it's 1. And the group ID is also 1. It's class 6. Similarly, it's node. And maybe the bundle field we also need. Then the entity ID is 2 and the group ID is 1. So this will similar. Now this shows that this node is also part of this particular group. Okay. So there is a an entity in the middle which is called group relationship. This is very important to know, and all the membership is governed by this table. Is this clear? And this types, each type is also called a, you can call bundle or something like this. So each type of association is a bundle for group relationship, and now I will show you in the table. So if you click on group relationship, so you can see these are the types. Just like we have bundles, so the group relationship type also has bundles. But what is that bundle? Bundle actually is the association. So if, for example, let me just show you, if we went to groups and group types, and then in here we chose set available content. Okay, so the group node assignment, this is one type of linkage or association you can call. So we have enabled it, we have configured it, the assignments one. So the type of it is this one. If I now enable article, so it will create a new type. Basically this enabling of group content is creating a type, a bundle actually. Okay, this is what you need to know. And this one comes by default, the group membership, it's by default. So it is also here, you can see class group membership. Okay, so we have 3 entities right now.
Yes, sir.
And the detail of it is, and this is with any Drupal entity, where it is group, let me go to group field data. So it has 3 entries right now. Can anybody tell me why are there 3 entries here in the, this is, you can call them membership data, why are 3 entries here? And this is what the type is. This one is membership, means
Yes,
it
sir.
is user.
Yes,
This
sir.
is assignment,
Assignment
it's
and
1.
node, yes, sir.
And this is Jawad actually.
Yes, sir, exactly.
Okay, and you can even see the UID is 111. What does this mean? The ID of the target entity.
Yes, sir.
Group ID, this is group ID actually.
Yes,
UID
sir.
is,
class.
GID is 1, and
This is actually the
creator, the one who created the
Yes, sir.
membership, this entity. Then the GID is the group ID, entity ID is 122. What does this mean? 2 and 2 and 1. Entity ID is the, for example, if it is a user, so user 1.
Yes,
If
sir.
it is a node, so
Node,
it is
yes, sir.
node 2,
Node 2, yes.
and this is user 2. Okay,
Yes, sir.
and this is the plugin ID. So again, this is one of the indicators, just like type, it is the plugin names. So if you enable anything on the group type, these are those types actually. So group membership is enabled by default, but this is what we do it from the this set available content setting. If I now install article and add an article to the group, so the type will be of
Same.
article, and then the group type is class. This is related to this GID.
Yes.
Now I will refresh this page. I will create a new content, add content, assignment. Now this is second assignment. Okay, essay on hockey, and let us leave the last date and we will save. So the new content has been created.
Yes.
My question to you is, if I refresh this page, will there be any change here?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Abdullah,
We didn't add it in the group.
good. So if I browse it, no change, just 3 items, because we have created the content but we have not added it to the group yet. So adding something to the group, this is what I want you to know. Adding something to the group populates this table. This is very important concept. So now I will go to the groups and class 6, and this is nodes.
Nodes.
Add existing content to the class 6, and it is
Yes, sir.
hockey, right?
Yes, sir.
And by the way, there is typo in hockey, but just ignore it and save. So what are we doing with it? We are adding the the assignment to the group.
Yes.
So if we refresh now, now there are 4 entries, and the type is, the fourth one is, you can see, the assignment one.
Yes.
And so it is not adding anything to the groups table, it is adding it to the junction or this relationship table. Okay, this is what you need to know. And the entity ID is 3. What does this mean? This is node ID.
Yes, sir.
Okay, node 3 has been added to the group. Is this clear?
Yes.
If I want to add a new user to the class, where will the entry be? Umar? User is Drupal user. So if I create a new user and then add it to the group, so where will that appear? How will I know that this user has been added to this group?
So it will add one more entry here.
Exactly, and the type will be membership.
That will be membership, yes, sir.
Shabas.
1, 1 and 4.
So let us do this. So if I create a new user of arc@example.com, and now if I go to the class and members, add member, here I will add afaq to
Yes, sir.
the group,
Class.
which is class.
Yes, sir.
And now if I refresh this table, the relationship table, so it gets added to
Yes, sir.
the relationship. Clear?
Yes, sir.
And you can see the ID here also is 3,
Yes, sir.
and here also it is 3. Then what is the difference between the entity IDs? Anybody?
So the one is node ID and the second one, that is a user
Exactly.
ID, yes,
So
sir.
you should know that the entity type is very important. This entity ID is actually dependent upon the type of the
Yes, sir.
the referred content or the content which is added. So if it is a user or it is a node, so it all depends upon this type of association.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so just my workflow in Drupal is, I always want to know what a module does behind the scenes in the database. If you don't know what a module does in the database, then it's really hard to even do some custom coding or logic or whatever. So you should also adopt this methodology. Never ever try to configure a module without knowing what it does behind the scenes. So if you can strengthen your group module concepts from your database tables it creates, that would be great. Okay, so if I go to now the database tables again, let me just quickly go through some more tables. So group relationship, group roles. Okay, so the next thing is, we should know what outsider roles are and what member roles are in Drupal. So if I just create a normal role in Drupal, this is normal Drupal role, don't confuse it with any. So I will create a new role and I will call it student. For some reason, let me call it student. So this is a new role which we have created, and it is global to the Drupal site. Now if you go to groups and group types, and here manage edit group roles, so add group role, I will call it outsider student. Just for your understanding, I will call it outsider student. And the scope is basically this scope setting makes a global Drupal user role and a group role mapped. They map the roles within the group context and outside the group context or global Drupal roles. So just the name, don't confuse it with the name, but I am making the name exactly like how it should behave. So it should be outsider. Okay, and I will map it with the global student role. This is very important to know. We created a new role, we called it student, that was global student role, right? Now we are creating a role inside the group which is called, the name of it is outsider student, but its scope or nature also is outsider. Okay, and what should it map to globally? The student role, and save global role. Got it? So we have created outsider student, and then we will also create a new one, and it will be member student, or we can call it insider also. Okay, or maybe in the bracket I will call it insider. So member student, and it should be, its scope will be insider, and it should also map to a global Drupal role which is still student. Okay, and save group role. So quickly, if anybody can tell me what we have done. We created a global student role, then we created two separate group roles. One is outsider, one is insider, and both of them are mapping to the same global role. Okay, so this is, you can see even the wording is very good, synchronizes with, so it means this outsider student is a role, scope is outsider, and it synchronizes with student, and similarly this one, it synchronizes with student, and save. Okay, the next thing is, let me give existing users, maybe Jawad, the role of, because we had created it prior to making him a member of the group. Okay, and we will leave Afaq, or maybe Afaq should also become a student. So now both of them are normal Drupal users with these roles. And if I go to groups, group types and permissions now, so you can see we have two extra ones, and we will focus on these only. Okay, so one is outsider student and one is member insider. Okay, so before this I will go to, sorry if I am switching, but for conceptual things we need to do all this. So if you go to class 6 and members, we have these three members right now. Who are they? Jawad and Afaq both are members of the group, the class 6 members. So I will remove Afaq from this group for now. What does this mean?
It will be outsider.
Now Afaq is a student, but not member of the group, so he is technically what? Outsider.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and what would have happened to the relationship table? Anybody?
Group table.
Removing some content or user from a table, what does this mean? His entry from here would go away, this table, the relationship table entry from here will go, I mean that will be deleted. So if I remove some user, it means if he had an entry here, that has been removed. Okay,
Yes, sir.
nothing magical is happening. Okay, so now my question is, those for example, if Afaq logs in, he should not be able to see content. So where will we make the entry here? This is the relevant group node, view any content item entities. This is that setting, view any content item entities.
Yes, sir.
So if this is outsider student, right? So this is unchecked for the user who is outsider,
Yes, sir.
and I will remove this one, and it should be only insider, and save. So if Afaq now logs in, do you think he will be able to?
No, sir.
No. So let us check this. We are logged out. Afaq should log in now. And what is the node slash 2, right? Assignment, and it is access denied.
Yes, sir.
So Afaq does not have now because he is outsider. So one way is to make him member of the group, then he will be able to see it. And another way is I can give this role also, sorry, this also, and view any content item entities. So if I give it to this outsider student role, okay, I can, if view any content item entities role is given, permission is given to this outsider student role. So Afaq is outsider right now, and if we refresh the page, do you think he will be able to see it now?
Yes, sir.
He will be able to see it. Okay, one more thing, the outsider as a insider role gets precedence over the outsider role. What does this mean? The insider role gets precedence over the outsider
Outsider, yes.
role. So any example, any scenario you can give me?
Like we are in a class, so and somebody come from outside, so now we are going to take precedence on that student, sir. Something like that.
Okay, let's try it. So here we are in this view content, view any content item entities, and outsider also has this, and insider also has this role right now, right? Now what I wish is if I uncheck this one, member, and save, now only outsider will be able to see the content. Even if somebody becomes the member, they won't be able to see the content, right?
Yes.
I will add it again, and now if I uncheck the outsider one, and the user has this one, okay, so now if he is the member of the group, he will be able to see the content, otherwise not. And if I refresh it, it is access denied. Let me give some scenario so that we can prove it, that the insider role gets precedence over the outsider role. Okay, there is also the edit content permission. Where is it? Edit any content item entities, this one. So if a user is insider or outsider, we can give him the permission. So if I check this one and save permission, which is the outsider, so do you think any change will happen here?
Edit will
Because-
be-
Okay, so you can see he cannot see the content, but he can edit it.
Yes, sir.
Why? Because we have given him the relevant permission. Edit any content item entities, this one. So Afaq is outsider right now, so he has the edit permission. We should give him the view permission also, so that he can see the content too. But this is now the outsider one, and save. Is this clear? Now I want to make Afaq member of the group. Right now Afaq is not member of the group, we removed him, right? So now my question is, if I make him member of the group, right now he is outsider, so he can edit the content. But if he becomes the member, would he be able to edit the content?
No, sir.
If he becomes a member, would he be able to edit the content?
No, sir.
Because as I said,
Yes, sir.
the insider role gets precedence over
Yes,
the
sir.
outsider role.
Outsider, yes.
Okay, so no matter what the outsider role the permissions are, but if the insider role does not have that particular permission, so it won't take effect. Now let me switch to
What about the order of the roles? If you can go to the roles page. All roles page.
where is all roles page? Okay,
Roles.
here.
Yeah. They can be order, right?
Yes, but I think I'm not sure how will that behave, but at least we are not touching these extra roles for now. We are focusing on only the outsider student and the insider student. So we are giving permissions only to those two types of roles. That's why they are taking effect. I'm not sure how that will behave. We need to check that too. So if we are on the edit permissions page again, as I said, we are just dealing with these two right now. So that's why. Okay, so we are on the edit page. Afaq is on the edit page, this one. Okay, Afaq is on the edit page, and if you refresh the page, he still can edit the content. But now I am going to make him member of the group. I will go to groups, class 6, members, and we will re-add Afaq. Right?
Yes.
And now Afaq has become member of the group. What will happen if I refresh the page for edit?
Access denied.
Access denied. So you should not be feeling excited to be becoming part of a group that you will be able to do something. It's all about the permissions, either outsider group, outsider roles or insider roles. So again, as I said, the precedence is for the role here. So now if you want Afaq to do something, what they can do is you will have to give the relevant permission. So that permission will be edit any content item entities, this one. So if he has the permission, only then he will be able to do stuff. Okay, there are plenty of scenarios where we can use group module. Maybe in Drupal Commerce we will study it as well. For example, if you want to add some content to the, if you want to create new content in a group, okay, so what you will do is you will purchase access to the group, and this membership actually is you will purchase. So if you become part of the member, then you can create content in that group, otherwise you can't. So in that case we can use, for example, something like add content item entities. Okay, and now we have studied both the aspects of viewing content and editing content. Now let us come to add content item entities. And this is normally a confusion. This is from my experience. If we go to, I will leave this screen here, and if we go to the people and in the permissions, and you can see in the node section, if I just create node create content. So assignment, if I need to create some content assignment, for example, I want some user to have to create assignment also. So what I will do, I will give it to maybe the student, assign create new content assignment, sorry, and save. So now if a student is logged in and he goes to add content assignment, and this is the page for assignment. So if Afaq is a student and is logged in, so he can add assignment, but this is global content. If he adds this content, it will be global Drupal content, it will not be related to group. Okay, so in group based websites, you don't need to add the global add or edit permissions. We will undo this. This is not needed. It will just create extra redundant content which is not part of the group. So what we can do is we will go back to the people permissions and create content, what it was, create this one. So we will uncheck it from the student student. Okay, but still in a group we want him to have this create content. And if you go to groups, class 6, and if we go to nodes, you can see there is a new there is a link. We are logged in as admin, that's why you can see it, add new content. So it has a separate, the same node assignment, but its path is, if I zoom this part of the, so you can see it's group 1, which is class 6 content create group node assignment. This is different than normal Drupal add link. This link is very important. That's where this permission, the permission related to creating content inside the group, will affect things. So now I will copy this link, and if I come to the logged in user Afaq and add it, it is access denied because that link is related to creating content inside the class link. Now we want Afaq to have this permission. So what will we do? And now, do you remember who Afaq is? He's an insider now because he's now part of the group. So in this case, we'll go to the permissions again, these ones. Which permission do you think we will give him? This one, group node assignment, and add content item entities. So it will be given to, now this is a question for you, should I check the insider or outsider? Insider, this one. Excuse me, Ji. And save. So because Afaq is insider, he can now create content. Hopefully, if you refresh the page, you can see the link appears now. Okay, now I have a question again, and if I create this node, a node will be created, right?
Yes.
But what else will happen? How is this node page creation different from the normal Drupal node creation page?
It creates both the relationship as well as the node.
Very good.
So
It
we'll
creates
accelerate it in the group also.
the node as well as the relationship.
Yes.
So before this, we will come to the table we have. This is the relationship table, and it has five entries now because Afaq was re-added. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now if we create this node, Afaq creates this node, So not only the node table will get populated, because a new node will have been created. So assignment on maths, for example. So if I save it, assignment has been created. The node 4 is now an assignment which AFA created. But if I refresh this table, so it has a new entry. It means this content automatically became part of
Yes, sir. The group.
the group.
Relationship table.
So this is very important to know, that any content added from that particular link, which I showed you, the group content add link, it actually becomes. So if I come now to the nodes in a group, so you can see all of these 3 nodes are related to this class or this group, and this automatically got added.
Yes.
Previously we added existing content because we created the content separately and then added the existing content, but from that link if you add anything, it will automatically create the association also. Is this clear?
Yes. Yes.
Welcome. After the break we will continue with the group module. So far we have only created one group, which is class 6. So maybe we also create another group which is class 7 now. So this is now a new group, and by the way this is known as the group home page. So now, for example, if a teacher or a student, let us create quickly a new role, global role. In Drupal we will call it teacher. So this is global Drupal role, and then we can have a role for add role. So insider teacher or member teacher. So it's going to be insider, and it should be attached to the teacher, and similarly outsider and this teacher role. Sorry. So we have now 2 roles, inside teacher, or let us edit it, insider teacher and outsider teacher. Okay, so what is going to be the first step? If I create a new user, I'll call it Kamal at example.com. and it is going to be teacher. What I will have to do in order to make him member of the group,
Give permission.
if I want to make Kamal a teacher in class 7, what I will do, I'll go to
Inside.
this, go to members, add member, and I will add Kamal. So he's a teacher who is being added to and if you edit it, you can check this role also, so he will become the admin, but I am not going to do that for now. So if you go to the groups, group types, permissions, so there are 2 extra, and by the way you can see the admin has all the permissions.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if you want to make some teacher an admin, you will have to check that, but if you want to still restrict a few things, so in the teacher insider role, where is teacher insider?
Teacher inside.
This one. So here we can assign some roles, maybe view any content entities and edit any content entities and add any content entities. So this will essentially make him administrator of the group. Now if we want to add some content, some assignments to this class, so what we will do, go to groups
Yes.
and
Class 7.
class 7, but this is admin doing it, okay? So if you go to nodes, add new content, and this is going to be assignment 1 for class 7 and save. So now we have one content inside the
Class 7.
class 7, and it will have its own users. So if we now add students, so for example, if I add a new student, maybe Jamal is a student, and we will make him a student and save, create new account. So if we come to the group members, if Jamal is added to this group as a student, only then he will be able to see the assignments of class 7. So add member, here we will choose Jamal. So now if Jamal logs in, he will be able to see the content inside this group. So that's how the whole concept of groups in this group module does. You will have groups, and then it will have content as well as members, and then you through permissions, these permissions you can give or take or whatever privileges you want per group.
Yes.
Per group type, right? Okay, so the next steps are, now we are going to create do further stuff, and as I said, there can be multiple group types. So if I go to group types, now I can create a group type. For example, you have decided to create a university website, but not a single university website. You want this Drupal site as a hub for multiple universities. So any idea what can we do?
We can create multiple group types.
We can create a group type, we'll call it university. Okay, so each group will be then a university of this type. So university, and the group settings, the group creator automatically becomes a member. We should have it, and maybe automatically configure. We are not going to check this and create a save group type. So now what we have done, we have created a new group type, which is university. And by the way, you can have, just like we can add fields to content types, you can add fields to groups. So let us add a field for, where is media, this, for logo, university logo, image, and save. So this is field logo, and maybe some description. So intro, we can call it intro, and save. These two fields, what else we can have for university? For now these are enough. Okay, so if I have to add 2 or 3 universities, what I will do? Should we add a group type or group? We should add groups. So if I go to groups, list, add group, which to, just like content types you can have. So university. So for example, if I am adding Harvard University, and let me quickly Harvard University has been in the news these days. So we'll add the logo. this is the logo, and maybe this is some intro. I think we are in the intro of Harvard, right? And we will create university and become a member.
Yes.
Why are we seeing access denied? Because even administrator, the global Drupal administrator, does not have permission right now to view the group. But ignore this. Now we are going to create another group. Add group university. So Oxford, and we will quickly create download an image for Oxford University logo. Where is save image?
Save image is second one.
Okay, so we can upload okay, so 2 universities have been added. Why are we not still able to, even if you come here groups, we are not seeing the group because there is issue with the permissions. If you go to group types and edit permissions, so right now we have no roles assigned because we didn't choose any role. So maybe we can call it university admin. Okay, this is a role which is university admin, and let us make him individual and admin role and save. So now if you go to edit permissions, he will have all the access to this. Okay, so we are able to see the 2 universities we have added. If you come to groups, so Harvard University and Oxford University, both of them are of type university, and if I click on any of these, this is Harvard University and this is Oxford. This is normal stuff. And by the way, this is known as group page, which is group/something. Now we want to have, for example, let me give you an example of the DrupalCon website, which is normally DrupalCon Atlanta. So this is DrupalCon Atlanta, which took place in US. So if, all of these links are, for example, if I click on meet the sponsors, so in the URL there is Atlanta 2025, this one, and then the page meets sponsors. So all of these links are related to Atlanta 2025, and by the looks of things it seems to be a separate website. If I go to any of the pages, so the folder structure remains the same. This is Atlanta and all the pages are different. But if I go to any other website, DrupalCon website, which is Vienna, so here the URL is events.drupal.org/Vienna 2025, and if you go to any of the pages, so this URL is stagnant and the pages are different, and again this gives you a feel of a different website. But internally my understanding is this must be Drupal groups based or organic groups based, which was a previous module in Drupal 7. So similarly the main thing is the group is the whole site, and then these are the pages, individual pages which are added to the group. So for example, we want basic page, the content type basic page, this one. So it can be about us, so about Harvard University, about Oxford University. So we want this to be linked to the university group. So how can we do it? We did it for the classes also, for assignments. How can we do it now? So that we can add content to the university sites. So we'll go to groups, group types, and in the manage settings you can see set available content.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this group type, if we click on set available content, so here you can add any content types to the university group. So what we will do here for basic pages,
Yes, sir. We can
this one, install the basic page content type,
Yes, sir.
install. So what this will do, it will let us add basic pages to the group. So now if I come to groups, Harvard University, and if I come to nodes, so here we can add new content, and the new content is basic page. We can add, so we can make it mission of Harvard University, and this is mission of Harvard Uni, right, and save. So we have now added one content to Harvard University. Similarly, I want to add mission of Oxford University also. What I will do, go to groups,
Yes.
Oxford University, nodes,
Notes.
add new content,
New content.
mission of
Mission of Oxford
Oxford Uni.
University.
This is mission of Oxford University. Okay, and save. Is this clear?
Yes.
Now if I come to groups, Harvard University, I want here the mission on the home page of Harvard University, here in the sidebar. Similarly, if I come to groups, Oxford University, so I want to have the mission of
Yes, sir.
Oxford University on the right side. So this is normal Drupal stuff. How can we do it? We are on the group pages. We will create a view.
Yes, sir.
View of
View of
about
the all basic pages.
so structure, views. Normally I call it something like this, group content, or maybe here we can call it university content. So show content of type which one? Basic pages.
Basic page.
Okay,
Create a block.
and we will call it mission, and save and edit. So right now both of them are being shown, mission of Oxford University, mission of Harvard University. So how can we use the contextual filter so that if we are on a particular page, we only see that university's mission?
Content ID from the URL.
Yes, so we are on the node.
Yes, sir.
Okay, if you remember from the diagram we created, you can see this is the group, these are users, this is nodes. So we are creating a view from here actually.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so how can I reach the group? It is through group relationship,
Yes, sir.
this table. First I will have to make a relationship, a join to this table,
Yes, sir.
and from here this is the group ID. So we will then make a relationship to the groups. This is the groups.
Yes, sir.
So basically how many relationships we need? Two. So here we are on the node, we are creating node.
Yes, sir.
Node view, right? So first we will create a relationship to, if I choose group relationship, this is that relationship,
Yes, sir.
from content to group relationship, and we can choose article or whatever, but I can leave it. So all of these will be selected. Apply. Now we have one more step to go to reach groups. So what that will be, using this relationship,
Yes, sir.
we'll have to go to the group. Now here group will be available somewhere, and this is that group relationship.
Yes, sir.
apply,
Use the first
and
one.
it automatically selects that initial relationship which we created,
Yes.
and maybe we can call it main group or whatever. So now we have access to the group,
Group.
right?
Yes.
Here we need a contextual filter on what? If we are going to show the mission on the group page, what do we need?
Contextual filter on the group.
On the group ID.
Yes, group ID.
Or if we just use ID, so this is that ID we need. Okay,
Yes, sir.
apply, and what we will use, provide default value and group ID from the URL,
Yes, sir.
and apply and save. So how to test it?
Four.
Yes, so 3 is I think Harvard University,
Yes, sir.
and 4 is
Oxford.
Oxford University,
Yes, sir.
right? Now we have to use this block somewhere on the page, maybe on the sidebar. So if we come here in the sidebar section, here we will use mission,
Block.
university, what we call it, university content. Maybe we needed to have a better name for it, but that's all we needed, and save block. Now if I go to content, that is not showing up because there is no context available or the group ID available. But if I go to some university, Harvard University, so you can see the mission of Harvard University is here, right? And similarly, if we go to Oxford, so Oxford University group is here.
Yes, sir.
So all this is now dynamic. Clear?
Yes.
This is basically normal Drupal, because you can do it with nodes also, anything. But the only thing you needed to know was that if you need to get to the from nodes to the group, so you will need two relationships,
Yes, sir.
because there is a content relationship entity also, group relationship entity also in between. Now as we are gradually progressing towards making a Drupal site which comprises of multiple university websites, so what we need is, if I click on the mission, this one, mission of Oxford University, okay, now everything is lost. I don't know which node or which group this belongs to.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so before this, let me create a logo also, which we can use it here somewhere, which will show the university logo. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so let us go to that view we just created. I will add a block and I will call it logo, and this will be for this block only, logo. Okay, so what do we need here? The image. By the way, this is not going to be, I think we should create a new view. Sorry for this. Structure, views, add new view, and we can call it logo. What should we choose here? Group of type which one? University. And a block. We just need one record, right?
Yes.
So here we need the logo of the group, and it will be some thumbnail, and maybe
Thumbnail. 100
Thumbnail.
by 100.
thumbnail is fine, and link image to content. Okay, so this is, maybe we need the title also, that's it. So this is Harvard University and the logo,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But again we want to make it contextual, so that whatever is the ID in the group, that logo should show. What should we do? We'll
Use
add.
relationship.
No, right now we are on the group, so we don't need any relationship, but we do need ID,
ID.
group ID, and provide default value and group ID from the URL. That's it. Now if we choose, for example, 3, the logo will be Harvard, but if we choose 4, it will be Oxford.
Yes.
Right? So now we need to show this logo block maybe in the header section of the site. So here, structure, block layout, and where is header, or maybe hero is fine for now. Logo, ignore the design, but the functionality should be there, and save. Okay, back to site. Now this is showing everywhere. We are on group 4 now, so what it is showing.
Mr. Oxford.
But if we are on group 3, then
Harvard.
it should show Harvard, right?
Okay.
So in the whole context of the site, what do you guess from it? Any content we are browsing, it should be showing its relevant logo there. So for example, right now I am on Harvard site homepage. It is fine, it is showing the logo.
Yes.
Okay, but if I go to the mission of Harvard University, that's the most critical point of this lecture. So if I go to mission of Harvard University, everything is lost. Why? Anybody? Because now the path is node 6, it is not group / something.
Yes, sir.
Okay, technically this is, in Drupal terms, you can call it context. The context is lost.
Yes, sir. Out of context.
This page, though internally it is related to Harvard University, but Drupal site right now doesn't know what logo should I show, because the view is based on the group ID.
Group ID.
And now we don't have the group ID here. So how to tackle this problem? And that's what we are going to do next. So there is a module called, a very good one, group path prefix, group context path prefix, this one. So if you read about it, this module extends the group module. Once enabled, every group can be assigned a URL path prefix. Every group can be assigned a URL path prefix, and any content within a group with a path prefix will have its own URL path rewritten accordingly. So for example, a group named private, so it will have a path of this /private. Okay, like we have Harvard, so it will be /Harvard.
Yes.
It will be /Oxford. So an article added to this group, if its path is this, so it will become this,
Yes.
just like the DrupalCon site I told you, something like this. So let me enable this module. Module has been enabled. Now if I go to groups and any of the groups, right, so you can see here is group path prefixes now. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so any group can now be added some prefixes. So ignore the first two because they were related to classes, but for Harvard and Oxford we can edit the path and we'll choose /Harvard for Harvard
Yes, sir.
and
Oxford.
/Oxford for Oxford, right? So if I go to a group now, for example, if I go to list and Harvard University, so you can see, sorry, so you can see this Harvard will appear with any page now if I click on any of the group. Similarly, if I click on groups and Oxford University, so you can see this Oxford is now there with the group / something. Clear? Okay, so we are now in, if you click on, if I now add some or maybe if I edit the basic page and add something to it and save, and if I go to the Oxford page, so you can see this is Oxford /node/7. Can you see? So if I access a page, this Oxford will be there.
Yes, sir.
If I click on any other group, maybe Harvard, so the same path will be there. If I go to, for example, groups, Harvard, and then I go to content and mission of Oxford University, so you can see still Harvard /node/7. But this is a very key identifier now, which we can use. So if I go to groups, Harvard University, if you remember, we can see the logo here.
Yes, sir.
Okay, but because we are on the group page, and if we go to Oxford, we can see the logo here. But if we go to any other page here, now the context is lost. But if the context is lost, this Oxford is still there, you can see.
Yes.
Okay, so this is something we can base our views on. We will know what is in the URL and get the group ID from there. That's the main thing if we should be focusing on. So what can we do? We have let me go to some that logo block. In the visibility section, there is this setting now, group from URL path prefix. So we need this somewhere here or through another means, and that is, if we come to our view which we created for logo, this is the logo view. In the contextual filter, we are using the view based on any group ID. So if I use 3 and update preview, so it shows Harvard. If I use 4, it shows this.
Oxford.
But we don't want it on the ID this way. What we need is, we should have, if I click on the contextual filter setting, provide default value, right now it is group ID from the URL.
Yes.
Can you see?
Yes, sir.
But we need something like group ID from the path prefix. Group ID from the path prefix, so that path prefix can give us the relevant group ID, not group ID from the URL, because as you said, we saw the context is lost if you go to some other page.
Yes.
But the path now, with the module we are using, it gives that a permanent part of the URL, so we should have that value from the path prefix. And luckily I was able to, before this class, I thought that was missing from the module, this group context path prefix module. So what I did was, I have created a patch. Hopefully if they like it, they will accept it. This is that views contextual filter default argument support. So I have created this issue, and it has a patch which you can apply right now. Hopefully it will be a part of the module in future. But what I can do is, I can quickly copy it from another site I was working on, so that we can use it. So I will just quickly go to once that becomes part of it, or maybe you can now download the patch also, so it will be inside plugin views. This folder is what I have push to the issue queue. So I will copy this into our on site. Ideally we should have created a patch, but to save time I'm just manually copying it. Okay, so contrib this source plugin, and here we will paste item JSON. Okay, so it has just one file, argument underscore default folder, and then the group path prefix.php. It's a plugin. So ddef-cr so if we click on this now, hopefully there is this option now, group ID from group context path prefix. Okay, automatically it will get the group ID from the path prefix,
Okay, sir.
not the group ID from the URL,
URL.
and apply and save. So we have changed the logo block. Now if I go to, right now the URL has Oxford University, Oxford Node 7. Sorry, if I go to some group, Harvard University, and this is the mission of Harvard. We are on the group page right now,
Yes, sir.
which you can call as home page. So if we go to the mission of Harvard University now, we are now on the node page, but the logo still remains. Why?
Yes, sir. Due to the prefix.
Because of this. This is the contextual filter. Now the patch which I have contributed, luckily it converts this into ID and sends it to the view automatically. So now, what can you conclude from this? Now we can have any content which preserves context. Okay, even if you go to a node page, and it will take the context from this ID and the logo will be shown here.
Yes.
And to normal users, they won't know that it is the same Drupal site, but they will feel as if they are on separate sites.
Okay, sir.
Okay, similarly if I go to Oxford University now, so this is the home page, mission of Oxford University. If I click on it, you can see the logo does not change because the URL is stagnant, permanent, and the ID to the logo view is taken up by this. Okay, so now let me quickly create a news content type. News. Okay, we'll just create the news content type. That's it, the title, or maybe title is, we can reuse the body field. Okay, so each university will have its own news. Do you agree?
Yes.
So I want to add news to any universities. So if I come to groups, this is a test for you now. If I come to Harvard
Yes, sir.
and nodes, add new content, it lets me add only basic pages.
Yes, sir.
Why not no news?
Sir.
What I will have to do so that news can also be added?
Sir, you have to install that
Exactly.
content type. Yes,
So
sir.
we will go to groups, group types,
Yes, sir.
and university, and here we will set available content,
Yes, sir.
and you will have to add the content type install also, the news content type. Okay, so now if you again go to groups, group types, and set available content,
Lists.
list, and maybe Harvard University. Now I want to add news to Harvard University, so I will go to nodes, add new content. Now you can see
Yes, sir.
there is this news thing also. So seminar in Harvard University, and whatever it is. And save. This is one news.
Yes.
Again I want to add another news. By the way, I still love it. I'm on the node view now, and the logo is Harvard,
Yes, sir.
because it knows this node belongs to Harvard University now because of the segment in the path. Okay, so I will come back to Harvard University, nodes, add new content and the news, and this is cricket match in Harvard, which of course is not easy. There must be baseball, and save. So we have now added 2 news to Harvard University, and similarly we can add some news to Oxford University. Add new content, news, conference, ignore the caps, in Oxford, and similarly another news. My question to you is, how can I make an admin page which is very simple to add content to these groups? We'll do it in the last. So Oxford University, and we come to nodes, add new content, news, and this is new news in Oxford Unif, and save. So now we have added 2 news to the Harvard University, 2 news to Oxford University. Now I want to, on the home page, I want to show the news. How can I do it? We will go to structure, views, add new view, and news. Show content of type what? News. A block, save. Right? Do you agree?
Yes.
Now let us change it to HTML list. Apply. So these are all the news. Right now they are showing as these, but we want to restrict them as per group,
Yes.
by each group. So what can we do is we can go to contextual filters, and we will have to
Yes.
restrict them by
ID.
ID. But
Yes, sir.
as I said, I am on the content type page. So how to reach there? Via 2 hops.
Yes, sir.
So first one is group relationship.
Yes, sir.
So here I have reached the relationship step. Now the next one is the group.
Group 1.
This one,
Yes.
and it selects it automatically. Now we have reached the group, so we can contextual filter on the group ID.
ID.
Group ID, where it is, this one. Okay. Now question is, should it be the provide default value? Should it be the URL ID or something else?
So,
Which one? This one.
yes, sir.
It should be basing it should return the ID from here and apply. So we can test it now. If I check 3, so it's this. If it is 4, sorry, if it's, you can see it is working, and now we'll save it. The next step is to go to the block layout. In the sidebar I want to show the news also. This is sidebar, news, and save block, and save. Now if I go to back to the site, the logo being shown is Oxford University, right?
Yes, sir.
And we are seeing the Oxford University news, though we are on the node 11 page.
Yes.
Why? Because right now in the URL we have Oxford, you can see.
Yes.
But if I change it to Harvard, and you can see now in the URL it is Harvard, and I am on group 3. This is the Harvard University page, so the news are related to Harvard. If I click on even a single news, still the context is not lost. Why? Why is context not lost?
So because of the prefix. Yes, sir.
Because of the contextual filter as well as the segment in the URL.
Segment.
Okay, so now this is, I mean, your imagination is only the limit. You can create multiple university websites like this, add content to it, just like we have added the logo view and the news view. You can have all the professors added. So if you click on any university, all the professors of that university will appear. If you click on any single professor, still the logo will be that, right? And That's how, if you go to the DrupalCon sites, something similar happens. To outsiders, they appear as different websites, but you know internally that in order to create a new site, now my question to you is, you want to have a third website for Cambridge University
Yes, sir.
within the same. So what you will
We
do?
can create a group type. Group type.
No,
Groups.
you will just create a group, not the type.
Yes, or a group.
You have
yes,
set
sir.
up the views for logo, for news,
Yes, sir.
everything is there. You just need to go to groups,
Yes, sir.
add group and university, and that's it.
Yes, sir.
So here we will call it Cambridge University, right? Create university and become member, that's it. Now if you go to nodes, so what you can do, you can add new content, so it can be news or basic page, right? And similarly, I forgot to add the logo actually, so that is from the group. So each group is a separate. Here you can upload a logo for Cambridge University. Let us quickly do it. So we'll go to groups, Cambridge University edit. Here we should upload the Cambridge logo. Sorry. So you can now add content to, this is Cambridge University and the path has, if you go to, okay, we have not set up the, what is missing? Good. Group path prefixes. So if you go to Cambridge University, and here we can use /Cambridge. Okay. Now if you go to groups and Cambridge University, so you can see the logo is Cambridge, and you can add news and missions mission. Okay. One last thing before we wrap it up. As I said, we need to have some easy way of adding content, right? So if I go to, right now we only have this. If I go to nodes, add new content, so you should have something like group /6, and then if I go to news, so here if I zoom the URL for you, what is it? Group 6 content create group node, and then %a this thing. Okay.
Yes.
So we can copy this. What's the dynamic part in it?
We will add a menu.
News.
Add news.
It's the 6.
Group 6.
The ID is 6. So we'll copy the link. Now I will create a view. Add new view. What it is going to be? All groups, all universities, and this is maybe for the administrator of the site. So how do you make a page appear in the admin theme of a site, not the front end?
You will just provide the admin path.
Exactly. So very good. So here the path should be admin/all university. Now this because of this admin / it will appear in the admin theme rather than the front end theme, and we'll make it a table. Okay, so admin/all university, rather it should be all universities. So the title is there. These are all the, sorry, we created the content. It should be groups, all universities, and should be group of type which one? University. Create the page and let us make it /admin/universities. I think this is easier, and it should be a table. Save and edit. So you can see we have 3 universities. In front of it I want to add news, one column for news, another for mission
Mission
vision.
results.
So add, what should I add?
View.
No, what should be here? It's a custom text, and the custom text should be a link a href equals this, and if you remember, the path was something like this. Do you remember?
Yes, sir.
And it should be add news. I am not sure what this %3 is, but we will get to it. Okay, so a href group 6 content this add news. Okay,
Yes.
apply. So now the link is add news, but each one has group 6 in it because the id is hard coded. How can we make it dynamic? We'll add a group id exactly, group id, and it will be rearranged.
We have to use a
Why do we have to move it upwards? Because so that it is visible to the custom
Yes,
text.
sir, and we have to add
And here now we will have the replacement
Replacement
patterns,
pattern.
and this is the id
ID.
we need, and it should be replaced with what? This 6.
Yes, sir.
Apply and save. Right, so let us check how this view looks now. If you come here, you can see just because of adding admin to the path of the view is being shown in the admin theme. So as you can see, if you click on add now, so it is that particular link which is 3 now.
Yes, sir.
It will be added to the Oxford University or and so on. Is this clear?
Yes.
Okay. Which university we added? Cambridge University.
Yes, sir.
How can we add a view university page here? View link, which will be actually the home page of the university. How can we add it? The same. If I did the view, I will click on add another custom text. Here a href equals this view university website. Look, even this link makes it so powerful. You know what you will be viewing? A Drupal site, within it you will have multiple university websites. Okay, so what the path should be?
The prefix of that university.
Okay, so it's group / and that id. Sorry, id we already have.
In the replacement pattern.
This is one of the ways, but by default also you can have another one, which is link to content. Link to content, link to group.
Yes, sir.
So these are the two ways: link to group, and we can call it anything, and it will be view site. I created it through, so it is view site now, and this is custom text view university website. Both are doing the same thing actually. Yes, okay, so I'll save it. Now if I go to view site, so this is Harvard,
Yes.
and the news are Harvard University sites. And if I go to Cambridge, so this, we have not added news or mission to the Cambridge site.
Yes, sir.
So how can we do it? We will again have to go to that place and add the, but we can have some link here also. Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
Add news from here automatically. So how can we do it now?
We have to go to the news view and add a custom global text.
Okay, so let us go to the news view, edit view. Look at the power of Drupal on display. Okay, so here we can have it here as well, in the footer also and the header also. So any view can have header and footer or no result behavior. So if it is no result behavior, it still can be add a link, but let me add it to the footer so that it is always available. It can have unfilter. This is unfiltered text. And what was the path we had earlier? Let me this one. So here we will add a link in the footer, right?
Yes.
Each ref equals add news, so that you can always see this link, and the path should be /group/ this 3 content create group nodes this add news apply. But this will be this is that link, it will always be 3
Yes, sir.
because this is not dynamic.
Yes, sir.
Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
And this view is, so we will add the group ID. Do we have group ID available? Yes, because we have created the relationship already, so we will have group ID here,
Yes.
and we'll move it upwards like this. Now in the footer, this needs to be made dynamic.
Yes, sir.
So there is a setting use replacement tokens from the first row. So what this will do is it will take the replacement patterns from the view actually. So this is that ID, and we'll replace it with the ID here and apply. One thing, we need to hide the
ID.
exclude from display the IDs. So this is, with this view the footer is this, and it will take us to, okay, so we are on the Cambridge site now. There is one checkbox which we forgot to check, and that is show the footer even if there are no records. There is something somewhere, okay, here, even if view has no results.
Yes, sir.
Drupal is so natural that I mean, it's a huge community and they know what is missing in the system, so they already have this. Now if we go and check, so you can see, as we have not added any links yet, so we are seeing, in fact it will always be now here. So we can click on add news and group context create group, the group ID actually
ID is
missing. I think there is some issue with the ID being not reflected in the URL, so we will go back to the editing view, and we already have this group ID. First we need to exclude it from display because it will then be available on the front page. Then in the footer, I think this, maybe let us try removing this space. If it fixes it, it should rather not be so, but let us try. So now we are not able to see the link, or maybe so. It is group ID. Let me check if this is the problem. It shows up in the view but not on the home page. Let me clear cache. We can use this argument or this also. Let us try this. Now the link is there, ID is there, this one 6. So either way it should have worked. That ID should have also worked. I'm not sure why it is not working today, but this one is also working. So if we go now to any other group, maybe Oxford University, this is why we had to hide it. Let me just quickly do it again.
Exclude from display.
Exclude from display. So this is the news, and you can add the new news here. New news for Oxford. So you can see there is the new news, and then you can add news. So you can imagine on the group home page, this is, you can add all these views like this with the relevant add content. So even the home page of the site can behave like the whole admin structure for your site. And as I said, if we go to structure views, we have created an all university view. So you can even create views like these for your clients, and what they will do is they will just visit a particular website like this and then add content.
Yes.
So there was a lot to cover today, and we delved into the depths of the group module. I thought if I had time, I would have also taught you group sites module, but in fact, even the need for it didn't emerge, because we achieved everything we wanted. So this site now, you can imagine if you are a webmaster of a university, and a university has maybe 100, 120 institutions. So you can create one Drupal site, and each Drupal group within the site can be a separate site for the some universities or site institutions. And this is a very powerful feature of Drupal for SaaS products also. So you can charge people on your site if they create a user account on your website, and then you will grant them, in this case for example, you can grant them access to create groups, and each group will be a separate university website. Each group, what they will do, they will just go to add group and just add a university, and that's it. And then all of the content related to that particular university can be added. One more thing we can do is, if you go to appearance. So for now I have just created two dummy themes, theme 1 and theme 2. These are two themes. So modules like theme switcher, Drupal theme switcher rules, or even your own custom code of one page, maybe one hook, something. So if you can just know which theme to show on which group, so you can use modules like these, or write your own custom module or just some code, so that if there is something in the URL, maybe some group, so if for example it is Oxford University, so the theme will be maybe Oxford theme. If it is Harvard University, it will be Harvard theme. So all of that can be possible. So for the users, they will think as if all of this is a different site, but internally you as a developer would know that it is all Drupal trickery: groups, content types, and then the permissions related to the groups. So hopefully this was informational. See you. By the way, in the next class we will be creating Drupal camps website for Pakistan, and the whole idea will be this: we'll do it through groups. Now you know the basics, and it will have sessions, it will have speakers, all that linked to, and each group will be a campsite. So thank you very much.
Thanks.
See you next time. Bye.